So in the first Democratic presidential debate, candidate Julian Castro, was asked about his position on abortion. And he specifically mentioned the transgender community. This has been headlines now that he gave a nod to the trans community while sharing his abortion views. Listen to what Castro actually had to say.
Would your plan cover abortion, Mr. Secretary?
Yes, it would. I don't believe only in reproductive freedom. I believe in reproductive justice. And what that means is that just because a woman, or let's also not forget someone in the trans community, a trans female, is poor, doesn't mean they shouldn't have the right to exercise that right to choose. And so I absolutely would cover the right to have an abortion. More than that, everybody in this crowd and watching at home knows that in our country today, a person's right to choose is under assault in places like Missouri, in Alabama, in Georgia. I would appoint judges to the federal bench that understand the precedent of Roe v. Wade and will respect it. And in addition to that, make sure that we fight hard as we transition our healthcare system to one where everybody can get and exercise that right.
All right. So the fact that he mentioned trans females, transgender community in general, but then trans females has presented some problems because a trans female, that would be a man who identifies as a woman. This got the attention of the Daily Caller, which presented this as a bit of a problem because males cannot give birth. Yeah, so their headline, Julian Castro claims that men can have babies during Democratic debate. I tweeted this out as well. I tweeted out a correction to what Julian Castro said. Note to Democratic candidate Julian Castro, a trans female can't have an abortion because a trans female is a biological male. And biological males can't have babies. If you meant a trans male has the right to an abortion, you just illustrated the insanity of the position. Okay, so a couple of problems with what candidate Castro said. Number one, why bring the trans community in here? This is just pandering. This is just trying to score political points. I understand it's a debate, but at least let the debate have a logical coherence. No one is saying, hey, these people can have abortions, but not the trans community. If someone identifies as transgender, they don't get an abortion. What in the world does that have to do with anything? It'd be one thing if he was talking about LGBT issues or something like that, but abortion, what's that have to do with transgender people? Nothing in terms of abortion rights. It doesn't specifically affect them. So this is just pandering to show how left-wing he is. That's first thing. Second thing, as we pointed out, a trans female, that would be someone who is male, biologically male, who identifies as female, and that person does not have a womb, that person does not have a uterus, that person does not have eggs, that person cannot conceive a baby, let alone abort a baby, let alone deliver a baby. If he meant, a female who identifies as a male, so then you should have said trans males. You should have said female to male. I stand for the right of a trans male to get an abortion, which illustrates how absurd this whole thing is, because a trans male is a biological female. Refer to him as her, and you'll be accurate, because he cannot get pregnant. Only she can get pregnant. This just shows how we are on a course of societal madness. Let us come back to sobriety and truth. It's really pretty simple.